Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a slight brief talk about Silkstone Barbie, and we're also going to be looking at some of her early fashions. I found a mass lot of the original Barbie fashion model collection fashions that you could buy separately from your lingerie model Barbies, and let me just say they are some of the highest quality outfits I think Mattel has ever released for Barbie. And we're also going to be looking at fashions that I already have from that early collection, so that way you can get a feel for the detail work and the craftsmanship of the time. It is craftsmanship and detail work that I fear is gone from Mattel at the moment. And if that didn't depress you, I'm sorry, look at these wigs. This one in particular is so malicious.
I'm scared.
Sometimes it makes its a brief return, but it goes away as quickly as it's introduced.
I don't understand, bitch. I don't understand. I don't understand, bitch.
It's like they keep us on a line just to keep us interested, and then they pull it away and release a pixelized mini head sculpt. Or a new type of Barbie that no one seemed to ask for. I'm down for trying new things, but $300.
How many people were scared? Me too. I was really scared.
Mattel today seems to really pick and choose whenever they listen to their collectors. Very early Mattel, and even Mattel 20 years ago, seemed to listen to their collectors a little bit more, and it shows in their quality of work.
Is that tea?
So let's briefly talk about a Silkstone Barbie. What is she, who is she, and why she even exists to begin with? Here is one of the examples I have of a classic Silkstone Barbie. She is opulent, she is glamorous, and she is just everything. The detail work that went into her, the craftsmanship, just all around is stunning. She's a very stunning doll. This was Mattel's love letter to collectors, especially those who like to collect the vintage Barbies, almost like a continuation of that line from the early 60s. But imagine those costumes, which are already very high quality, but give them even more quality and even better craftsmanship, and you get a Silkstone Barbie, or at least what she used to be.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
That don't impress me much.
It was a love letter from the designer Robert Best, who is very much intertwined with Silkstone Barbie as he is the original designer. Back in those days, collector Barbies really had a lot of quality and a lot better craftsmanship than what they do now. But Silkstone Barbie was that craftsmanship and that quality and detail work amped up to the umpteenth degree. They were expensive, but they were very much worth the price. And that's why a lot of these earlier dolls and some dolls from their later period are highly sought after by collectors today, and a lot of people are asking a lot of high prices for them because of the fact that they are such high quality dolls. And hey, more power to you if you want to go in depth with these dolls. In today's economy, it's just not really accessible to majority, but sometimes you can find the rare deal, and sometimes you could pay a whole month's rent. I remember back in 2015 when you could buy these dolls for under $100.
Those were the days.
I remember as a child opening up the Barbiecollector magazine, and you would see the most beautiful dolls that you could imagine. They were not dolls that seemed that I could even get them because we weren't rich by any means whatsoever. So I knew that personally asking for them, it probably wasn't going to happen.
I don't think so.
And now that I'm an adult with my own adult money, I like to go looking for them.
Really, Marcia? No.
The reason why they made Silkstone even to begin with is because they had a porcelain Barbie line at the time, and they were trying to get away from the making of porcelain dolls. So when Silkstone Barbie came out and she was quite a success, you started to see porcelain Barbie line get really small until they just didn't have them at all. But because you didn't have them at all, you were able to have the glamorous and beautiful Silkstone Barbies, who were almost a nod from the past, but brought to the present. So today, my friends, we are going to be looking at 4 costumes that are mint in the box, and some other costumes of mine that I already have out of their box. And we're going to look at every single detail. When watching this, it's hard not to feel sad because even the Barbie Silkstone line has changed so much, like as to what it is now. It even went away for an odd number of years, but what it is now is a pale representation of what it used to be. And I don't mean that as an insult. I just mean that as in Mattel has changed so much as a company from between the early 2000s and now. And that for me personally has to deal with more the executives than what it actually does the designers. And we as collectors have to, like it or not, understand what Barbie is today is a response from the executives and the shareholders that currently run Mattel the company. But without further much ado, let's get into reviewing some beautiful Silkstone Barbie fashions. And to go with a lot of the fashions, they created the lingerie models. Now these dolls were made not to be really displayed in their lingerie, although you totally could. These dolls were made to go along with the added fashions that they created for the Silkstone line. You got your base doll and a base lingerie outfit, and we also have a booklet. So just like how vintage Barbies came in swimsuits, which in itself can be a play feature, these dolls came in lingerie. When these dolls came out, they were quite controversial. Parents, just like today, really didn't seem to understand that these were not for children. These Barbies were for the adult collector. Although, ironically at the time, you could buy lingerie for your Barbie through the Fashion Avenue collection, which I don't think they really raised a big stink about that, but also Barbies at the time did not have this sultry of a face either. So some people were quite confused whenever they came out with a lingerie line of Barbie dolls. But the main reason why they did come out with such is because it's a great introductory into a new line, and they're perfect for the extra fashions that you can buy. Like I mentioned, they also come with these beautiful little books, which tell you all about the designer who designed them, why he designed them, and what Silkstone is. Here we have Silkstone Lingerie Barbie Doll, number 4. This one is, of course, a bubble cut. I remember seeing this doll in the collector books at the time and wanting her so bad. And my mother told me no because they were too expensive. So they were quite expensive even for their time. But it shows you what was available. So we have an accessory pack. I do not have this one. This one also kind of evades me, but I'll get it one of these days. This is the Country Bound fashion. I do have this fashion actually. I remember this fashion probably most of all from the Silkstone line because I thought it looked like Kate Spade. I really did. And I remember even too whenever it went on sale on barbiecollector.com, and I wanted it because I thought it came with the Barbie, but it did not. And my mother saved me from spending money on a doll outfit at the time because I was so young, but I thought it was really neat and she was a very pretty doll. And here we have Black Enchantment. This is a gorgeous gown. It's one of my favorites that I own already. It has some of the highest detail work that I've seen in a Barbie fashion. It just has some of the most fabulous detail work that I've ever seen from a Barbie costume. With the little compact, it's very reminiscent to vintage Barbie's Roman holiday. And with an actual functional purse, each detail is perfection. So I'm very excited to get more of these. And here we have the Continental Holiday Doll that came with basically 3 different looks. You got lingerie look, you got a secondary look to this, and then you also got this look. And then of course we have the Maria Therese Barbie doll. This bride is a bride that is on my list. She is so beautiful and I can't wait to have her at my collection whenever that day comes. These earlier Silkstones are the ones that are personally my favorite because I remember them in the collector books. So these are going to be our models for the day. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these fashions. Now this fashion in particular had evaded me for quite some time, but here it is. How beautiful that is. It's one of the first Barbie fashion model collection fashions. Fun thing about these is you can actually open them on the side and you can take a closer look at them. We are going to be unboxing all of these fashions, so we'll take a closer look at them, but they're just so beautiful. This is why I think this is a golden era of Barbie. Let's start off with the jacket, made of a fully lined chiffon, so gorgeous. Little C pearl buttons. Beautiful, beautiful craftsmanship on this piece. There is some age spots going on in the back, but that's to be expected. This outfit is over 20 years old. Wide brim hat. Look how beautiful that is. This set, in a way, kind of gives me Plantation Belle vibes from the 1959 Barbie doll. The straw bag especially makes me think of that fashion. The pearls, and the necklace. Gorgeous. Here are the shoes. These shoes were quite common in the Silkstone line in the early years. And the beautiful dress. Organza overlay with little flocked flowers. Beautiful. Look at that construction. The inside. Oops. And then, let's see. Very nice satin skirt, serged edges, beautiful, beautiful craftsmanship. And then of course the petticoat in a beautiful pink color. Ah, it's gorgeous. With the booklet, so it too, and its certificate of authenticity comes with a booklet. So cool to have this with the certificate and everything all together. Let's go ahead and add it onto our Barbie doll. Here is Garden Party. Such a cute little outfit, so feminine, just simply ideal. This is very Barbie to me, very Barbie-esque. Look at the hat up top, so cute. I think this would look even better, like if I didn't have it on a ponytail. Maybe it would sit down on the head a little bit more, but it is, oh, so stunning. It is gorgeous. Beautiful execution. The quality is superb. The pearls are pearling. The doll is dolling. The only thing I wish is that this would have like some sort of padding in it so it's not as flat. She is just absolutely stunning. The next fashion we have is Midnight Mischief. Absolutely gorgeous. We'll just open it up off to the side and take a closer look. Silken nylons. That's so cute. Look at that beautiful dress. And look at this beautiful hat with the little feather plume. And see the way that they're constructed where they have these headbands on them? They are just like their vintage counterparts. These aren't reproductions of anything from the past, but they look like a really good continuation. I would even dare to say that these fashions are even higher quality than the ones from the 1960s.
Yes, and also no.
So here's Midnight Mischief, and here's the booklet it came with. Looks like we've got some staining on our book. But I believe, actually, this is a new booklet. So we have the redhead lingerie doll. I used to have this doll and I wish I still did.
Oh, how obsessive!
Yes.
We have the wardrobe Barbie carrying case, which I've seen in person and I wish I got it, but somebody beat me to it. But this is what it looks like on the inside. How classy is that? And I don't know if you all have ever seen Uptown Girls with Brittany Murphy with Dakota Fanning, but she totally had Madame Alexander and Silkstone Barbies in the background.
Wow! These are so neat! I remember when there were only like 4 models. I can't believe this.
Anytime I watch that movie, I'm always looking for those dolls because I looked for those dolls when I was a kid, and you could tell like the level of status that that little girl was in the movie, because these were not just regular Barbies that you would get. Like, she totally went to FAO Schwartz and got those dolls, and I was so jealous. It was peanut butter and jealous. But there is a picture of Midnight Mischief on a Silkstone. I'm so excited for this fashion.
Nothing like it.
This probably is the most excited I am for any of the fashions because I've had it the longest. And this one is a Model Life Barbie. Just like with the other gift sets, this one came with lingerie and 2 separate looks that you could use. So really 3 different looks if you think about it. This one's so iconic. And I will try my best to find this doll at a reasonable deal, but we'll see. Absolutely gorgeous. And there's the booklet. Also comes with a certificate of authenticity, and it comes with a pair of silken nylons. On the inside, of course, we've got pantyhose. Gorgeous. The hat. Look at that hat. Isn't that fabulous? Beautiful satin purse. This purse does not open, but that's all right. 2 slingback shoes. Beautiful little pointed toes and spike heels. They were totally in style in the early 2000s. Satin gloves. Now these gloves have what appears to be elastic in them, which is interesting. The cape. This cape is just so beautiful. Hook and eye closure as well as snap detail work. Fully lined, of course. Absolutely stunning work. Gorgeous. The craftsmanship is just, oh, it's a chef's kiss. It is just a chef's kiss. The petticoat with the crinoline on the bottom. Nylon tricot and satin. The satin is supposed to look like crinoline. And the dress, oh my goodness, silk chiffon. Look at the chiffon. Oh my goodness. The way it just billows down. It is gorgeous. Sheer sleeves. Stunning details. And there's the inside. Oh. And look, real brooch on the front too, so you could decide where you would like that one as well. It is finally time to try this on, a Silkstone Barbie. Well, here she is, and oh my gosh, this probably has to be one of my favorite of the fashions. It is so luxurious. There is really nothing like it. It is so beautiful. The glamour, the absolute glamour, the intrigue. Who is this glamorous woman? Oh my goodness, she's so gorgeous. And it only gets better whenever you take off the cape. This look just truly comes to life. It is so glamorous. It is so beautiful. It's just simply a work of art. Like, this is what I remember Silkstone Barbie being. Opulent, glamorous, detailed, luxurious. This was the premiere of the premiere, the creme de la crop. Everything was styled just so. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. It just simply is breathtaking to look at. This look probably is my favorite, just head to toe. The craftsmanship is sublime. It is a tight fit, just like the rest of the Silkstone outfits. But wow, the high quality, everything about it just makes it into a beautiful package. But you'll have to tell me, what do you think of this outfit?
No!
The next one we have is Blush Becomes Her. Oh my God, look how gorgeous that is. Looks like we have went away from putting them in little packages that say silken nylons. Is that not one of the most beautiful necklaces you've ever seen in 1/6 scale? Gorgeous. The gathered gloves. Beautiful. Look at that purse. Fabulous. Of course, this big flouncy hat. Look at that. Just nice. It also comes with a little fashion booklet. looks very similar to the one that we just opened up, but this one talks about the jewelry, the brooches. We get to see some more lingerie Barbies that were available at the time. I also have this Boulevard fashion. I love it. The outfit altogether is just really opulent with a mix of different textiles that take it to that next level. With amazing craftsmanship and jewelry with the finest detail that makes the outfit look exceptional. There's Blush Becomes Her on a very beautiful Barbie. And there we have Lisette. I have Lisette. I love her. We saw this doll in Uptown Girls. Dusk to Dawn Barbie gift set I really want, and I had an opportunity to get it at one time and I let it slide and slip out of my hands, but it will be mine one of these days. But there we go. This one is a earlier fashion in the line. And here we have the dress. The dress is a bubble dress. Look at the inside of it. Barbie Fashion Model Collection tag. Made of a beautiful taffeta. The brooch is removable, so you can place it different areas. Metal snaps, serged on the ends. It is a very soft and beautiful dress. Can't wait to get this on a doll. Nylon tricot stockings, satin purse, metal snap closure, lined in nylon tricot. A pair of black Mary Jane pumps. 2 gloves that are gathered by elastic. They look like they're satin, but they're not. They're like a polyester or a nylon tricot. The beautiful necklace. Look at that. It's gorgeous. And last but not least, the picture hat. Look how beautiful that is. Little bow on the back. This definitely looks like something out of Barbie's catalog from 1965 and 1966. Beautiful construction. Made of a satin with silk chiffon on the outside. Absolutely breathtaking. So here Barbie is in Blush Becomes Her. Do 360 of the outfit. She looks gorgeous. Now I will say something. This is a very tight dress. On the back, if I were to move any of this fabric up, it would unsnap instantly. You can't move her arms in this whatsoever. It will unsnap, but also the awkward bottom. I do not understand what went wrong. I'm not too sure. The way it looks, I mean, it kind of looks like, and I'm gonna be so real, it looks like a hot mess. It really does. I don't like the way that it's like kind of swerved and curved a bit. I'm not really sure, because like if you go off the picture, you see how she looks in this? Look. Right, it's just a little different. I'm not quite sure if I really like this dress as much as I thought I would. But I love the effort and I love the design and I like where they were going with it. I just wish that my garment was just a little bit better executed. However, with that being said, there is a lot of quality in this outfit. Things were clearly hand sewn on this. Love is in the details, and there are certainly a fair number of details in this outfit. My one complaint is just the skirt and the way that it is so tight that I can't even move her arms up. But this doll looks absolutely stunning, especially if you angle her in the right way. And she definitely looks like a premier fashion doll. And here we have lunch at the club. Look how detailed that bag is up top. It is made of pleather, so I would bet that it will probably start to peel on us. It already does have those bubbles. Look at the hat. Little dainty tea gloves. Beautiful stole. Going down to a very tailored looking outfit. Look at the different textures. We've got satins. We have tweeds. Pearls, sewn details. Look at the skirt. 2 different types of fabric. The use of textiles were beautiful in these garments. Fishnets. How cute is that? And look at those heels. Oh my goodness. How sleek. And then of course, ooh, little paper flowers. Time to look at the next fashion. Here's the booklet. Look at that. A different booklet. It's like a different booklet every time. Oh, so this must be the earliest booklet because here we have our original models. This is number 1. And here is lunch at the club on the model. And you can tell by looking at the picture that these dolls are not on Silkstone bodies, these prototypes. And look, this one folds out. Oh my goodness. And then here we have another fashion that we'll be looking at, Garden Party. And with that one as well, you can tell that this doll is not on a Silkstone body. But these are so cute prototypes. And here is Delphine. Delphine is on a Silkstone body. Beautiful doll. And the pink Barbie does not look to be on a Silkstone body either. Interesting, interesting. And there is Robert Best. So cool, so cool. Delphine is a must-have for me. I hope to get her this year for my birthday and or Christmas.
I don't want no gold and no diamonds. I'm a good girl, I am.
I hope Santa's listening, but there is what most likely is the first booklet. Here is the hat, pillbox hat with a nice beautiful silk ribbon in the back, netting around to give a little bit of mystery to your dolls. Faux fur stole, pink satin lining. We have gloves made of another stretchy nylon material. We have the blouse, hook and eye closure in the back, and metal snaps. The skirt, 2 different textiles. Very, very cute. The shoes are giving day to night Barbie. So beautiful. We have mesh tights, black vinyl bag. I am not going to even attempt to open this. This is pleather. And I am unaware, like it looks a little bit rough. So I'm afraid to even really touch it that much. But here is the blazer. The blazer's really nice. It's not like really that much lined, but you can't tell, but there is nylon tricot that is lining it, and then it's serged on the ends. So there will be no fraying on this fashion. And then of course you have the paper Barbie fashion model collection tag. And little seed pearls. They are just so cute. The extra textile work. My mother just came over to my new place while I was in the middle of filming, and she looked at these clothes and she said, "Who makes these clothes?" And I said, "Mattel did." She said, "When?" And I said, 2000. She said 2000 because she sees what Barbie is today, and she was just flabbergasted that this is what the quality was for, you know, the line then compared to what it is now. So these were very expensive premier items. Here is lunch at the club on Barbie. And I love the silhouette right here. Do you see that? Like how it just swoops down. That's so pretty. So elegant. Now, I do feel like this fashion would benefit on a doll that had a bent arm, at least at some position, because she comes with a lot of accessories that would probably benefit from a little bit of an articulation, like around here. If it were bent, like she could hold this better, she could hold that better, she could even hold the bag better. But it is such a really cute doll. Creates the Barbie so well. And the detail work and the craftsmanship is really, really, really nice. The only thing I will say, my only complaint about this fashion is in the tailoring whenever it comes to the snaps. The snaps are a little bit too close to the edge to my liking. I would have put the snaps over here, maybe given some more allowance. Adding a little bit of fabric here to mask that would have been nicer, but that also creates more on the budget. So I can live with it. I'm so happy to have this fashion. Something that piques my curiosity is, will these fit the new Pivotal Barbie Silkstone dolls?
No.
Let's try it out. Here is a newer Silkstone doll, one with the pivotal body. I remember when they first, I guess, teased a pivotal body for Silkstone back in 2015, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, because I was really obsessed with my Poppy Parker. But whenever we got the dolls, you just kind of notice the quality change. They're not as heavy. They're still heavy, but they're not as heavy as what they once were. You can kind of like see where there's like mold marks now from the molding process, whereas before they were very much sanded down. And this doll is actually way better than some of their newer dolls. Like some of their newer dolls, it's kind of like egregious. But this was the doll at the time, and I did play with her. I don't know, I remember a lot of people having issues with her knee joints. A lot of people were receiving them and their legs would either, like their little knees would pop off and everything, because the plastic that is jointing her together is regular plastic, but the doll is allegedly, supposedly all Silkstone, but she just doesn't really feel like it. And I feel like these pivotal dolls, they have to have a different form of Silkstone. They can't be like the original Silkstone, where it has to be a little bit more of a refined version to have these joints. So there's a little bit of a loss whenever you talk about these dolls in particular, because although they do look nice, like they don't look bad, there's still something lost about them whenever it comes down to their ultimate overall quality. I will say that these dolls, like they kind of started off looking pretty nice. They were clearly very much different from the Silkstone that we all were used to at the time, the Barbie fashion model collection. They were more basic, they were more subdued, they had less detail work in their garments. You know, it was just very much simplified, and it was a sign of the time for Mattel, because 2015 is whenever Mattel just really shifted gears and Barbie just changed, you know, almost overnight. And by 2016, we don't know who she is anymore.
A witch!
And it was around this time in 2015, we just saw an overall change in Barbie altogether. Not just the Silkstone line, but the entire Barbie doll line. But I digress. This is the Silkstone doll with the pivotal body. This is the only newer Silkstone doll that I have, and she is, 11 years old now, which is really scary to say, because I remember getting her and being so excited. Yeah, I don't know. The pivotal dolls, they're not really my favorite. I never really went out of my way to get more. I contemplated it whenever they were newer, but I never really bought into it because it was a different time for me, and I really couldn't afford that many Barbies at the time because I was struggling.
I am a woman of my own destiny.
Here's the pivotal body in case you never saw it naked, but I think you can see what I mean whenever I say, look at the mold marks. Like you can see the seam lines really well. And I know this was a lot of people's like end to their Silkstone Barbie collection, because she had quite a lot of fans. And when this doll came out, it was kind of controversial, and it was kind of them trying to keep up, I feel like, with Integrity Toys and keep up with their doll collectors, because a lot of collectors were demanding for posability, just like they are today. A lot of collectors love the made to move body. I personally, I think it's good for some things, but I don't think it's good for all things, because I think you kind of sacrifice what Barbie kind of is with a lot of posability, because if you look at these dolls, they're so elegant, you know, they don't really need to be super posable. But if you are looking at taking pictures and you're looking at actually playing with them, I guess I can see why you would want more posability. But I feel like you kind of sacrifice a little bit of the elegance that was involved with these dolls. But again, they have different proportions. They are a little bit more modern looking compared to the original classic body. So let's see exactly how this will look in one of our Silkstone Barbie outfits. And here Blush Becomes Her is on the pivotal Silkstone body. And I'm gonna be so real, like this fashion is still a tight fit. I was kind of thinking that it would fit a little bit better, but I was wrong. But it looks so pretty on her, it actually does. It covers up all those unsightly joints at least. But yeah, she looks really sweet. I wish that this doll came with pierced ears, but I just may have to pierce them myself, so that way she can have a little bit of extra glamour to go along with it, because I feel like that's all she's missing. And plus, I need to restyle her hair. You can see the hair was like flipped up like this back in the day, but it was like really stiff gel and I thought it looked really weird, so I washed it out and I kind of regretted it instantly after. I do like how this looks on her. It gives her a little bit of extra glamour that she didn't have, that I kind of wished she always did have, because I was never a fan of that minimalistic look, and I'm still not. What do you all think of the older fashions on the newer dolls?
The original inspiration for the creation of the Barbie fashion model collection was sort of a response to collectors. I kept hearing the same things from different people, which was that they wanted a collection of dolls and fashions that was reminiscent of the early dolls, meaning the vintage dolls from the 50s, but that were not reproductions. What collectors really were responding to was the look and the details of those clothes. And also the fact that the doll debuted in '59 made it kind of easy to anchor the collection in the look of that era, which is also just happens to be an era that I'm very inspired by personally, which is the late 50s and early 60s.
Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, leave a like down below, press the hype button, I think it does something, and leave a comment letting me know how you are. Again, thank you all so much for being here with me, and stay tuned because I have some more exciting content coming to you on the way. And I think my next video is something that everyone will have something to talk about.
That was the silly goose police. You need to turn yourself in.
Just remember to be kind to others, but most importantly, be kind to yourself. And as always, have a fabulous rest of your day. Bye-bye.
The fashions are an answer to collectors as well, saying that they missed the original dolls from the Barbie fashion model collection. And I think what that was is that the original fashions and dolls were very basic. They were very much about just glamour and high fashion.
Beautiful Barbie, I'll make believe that I am you.
You can tell it's Mattel. It's swell.